Hello, I will present on data, uploading the data, importing the data, and also doing some exploration. So in this presentation, this is a Quarto presentation option. So this will be available also online in my GitHub. You can explore the data presented in this. So this presentation, I will some of the steps that to data and also the options for exploring. So in with R, it is important reading the data and also doing some exploration about the data, what's the type of the data, and also different types of data. So we will see this presentation, we'll see, for example, how can we the file path, set up file path. We're using, for example, get WD and also using a paste option and also reading different, for example, CSV file, Excel, delimited file, or RDS, or text file, and also other files, also using files as well. And also we will, what are the functions and what will be the examples. In CSV file, we can use CSV or read.csv. This is read is just for the base function and reader. So for example, if file was name. So if we have a file name, so we can say read CSV, then put our file name and your CSV. This is one of read CSV file. For Excel file, we follow the same pattern, read Excel. And for tab separated, we say tab separated. And for text, read delimited. And for data, we say read DTA. And for SPSS, we say read sum. So these are the different options to zip download as well as reading data. For online data, we can download the data and also we can use the same steps as we'll see this in demonstration, but this is generally show what are contents for the presentation. So we will see for reading zip files, reading from local files, and also we'll see work also reading online and also exploring the data options. That means exploring the data with structure, summary, glimpse, scale, count. So we'll see the data cleaning, for example, with janitor, and we'll see in this, we'll see what we'll see practically. So this is just the, for example, options of data exploring. Once we upload the data, so we'll see what is the top 10, for example, top 6, and what's the structure of the data. And then, so we'll see how we view the data, how we some cleaning. So all these steps are, as I mentioned previously, are online. So we'll see creating a quick dictionary. Data dictionary is very important. See what are the variable names, what are the descriptions, what are the types of variables, this character, numeric, factor, like that. And also this is with supply function, we can also get the whole structure in the working. So this is just a whole summary. For example, we use structure data frame, shows the structure in number of rows, columns, and variable types, and structure data frame var. This shows the specific variable and shows quick compact view of what is the data layer function. So if we say head df, that means the data frame displays the first, but if we say n, for example, if it is 10, then it shows first 10, or if we say 5, it shows the first. If we say 3, it will show the first variables. Here's content of this presentation, so I'll the demonstration part. So first thing I want to set is working, so it shows the working directory is here. And then once we working directory, so we can read, can set the working directory. So one of the option to pass, I'll clean this one. So we'll see things. So now my working environment is clean. So now I set my working directory file path. Now I want to read patient's data, which is CSV file. So if I click here, I'm getting the patient data, and the other is vaccination data. So it's now coming here, and the other is medication data. So it's now also coming here, and the other is condition of the data. So it's now coming. The other is like I have read now the CSV files, other reading the zip file. So for example, I have a zip file at synthetic data, which is called zip, means in my synthetic, I'll show the data. So in my data, this is a zip file. So I want to read this file. So this I just put the working directory, and then I make unzip the file, then lists now can read the procedure data. So it's not the procedure data is coming here. So it's working. Other is also uploading online data. For example, if you have from online government or any other organization, we can directly read the data. Or also if you have data at a website, for example, is the data available in my GitHub. So I am reading my data. Important to make a temporary file. So from that temporary file, we can, so my temporary file here, and then I'm now downloading my data. Then after the data is downloaded, then I can read the downloaded data. The downloaded data is found in temp file. So I can read the data. So this is the breast cancer. So these are the one of the I choose for this presentation. That means importing CSV file, importing zip file, as well as importing from online. We have imported the data. The next step is exploring data. So some of the options that the data. So maybe the easiest way is to view the data. So when we click, for example, here, I can open the data and I can start view data by here. What are here? So I can see what are the variable names, any missing value, and other things. So I can an exploration about. This is just a simple of exploring the data. That means using view data. This is the view, that means view file name. So for example, for this one, I can say view as breast. So I can say view breast. So it's directly opening the breast cancer here. The other one is in our example, I have frames here. So I want, especially sometimes with a lot of data frames. So I want to see how data frames are, what is the sample size, what are variables, the number of variables. For example, these are the number of observations I can see. These are variables in breast cancer data. So this is the code automates the whole working environment. So if I click frames, then if I print, so I can see, for example, this is the data frame from breast cancer. We have variables as we see here. This is 40, so we have different for conditions. We have 6 variables since we have mentioned. So to get what are variable names within the whole environment. So this is the code that has this option. So I print the data frame in my own work environment once I know what is the frame and what are the variables which within each data frame. Now I can just I have clean work environment. The other one is a data dictionary. So data dictionary is very important to understand what are the variables and names variable types. So this is a quick that uses to create data. If I open here, so this is the data dictionaries. This I use patient's data frame. That means data frame has 28 variables. So now I will see the data dictionary for variables. So from this, I can see the data dictionary, the variable name, and also what is the type of variable. For example, address is a character variable, birth date is a character variable, an integer, zip is an integer. So it's a quick way of getting data dictionary to understand what are the variables, what are the type of variables in our. That one is for getting or understanding what are the variable names as well. For example, name, one of the options to get names. So for example, when I say names, or you can say also call names, and then patient, for example. So we get the same, or call names, we get the same. That means we can get the list of variables. And other one is once we get the data, for example, we can see the variables are in capital letters. So we can make a quick cleanup with janitor clean. So for example, the patient is the data frame. So if I use janitor, structure names. So I click temporary is assigned. So now from capital letter, now it's changed to lowercase. So let's clean the template because I don't need just too congested in my work environment. Other is, let's see, for example, for breast cancer, what is the structure of breast cancer? So structure STR is one of the options to get the whole structure of the data. So here we can see, for example, SCS3 code is numeric variable, and we have an observation is from 1,364, and you can see the variables as well are numeric variables generally available here. So this structure or CTR tells what is the variable structure, but specifically if we say, for example, vaccination structure, then vaccine type gives the specific type. I think this is not available, but for example, if I say structure breast, and then if I say, for example, it shows that it is a character, and these are the SCA names, breast, that means SCA name. This is the options to get what are the type of variables, the whole variables, that means using structure, or using specific variables. That means, for example, if we are interested for a specific, I can change this one. Other is we can also make summary. Example, I think this is something in, because age variable is not available anyways. The same structure that gives equal is glimpse. Glimpse also give us what are the example, the type of variables. For example, date is a character variable, patient is a character variable. So glimpse also gives a detailed type of variable, like, so you can use whatever you prefer. The other is head. Head is usually give us head, for example, cancer. For example, if I say head cancer, so I can get the first six, that means now we can see the first six variables, and also shows 24 variables are not listed, but it gives just an overview what the variables look like. So example for this one, there is SCS3, SCA. It gives the variable type, and also we can get the 6 observations, what they like. This is a good option to understand variables as well. It also gives other variables, just whether they are character or numeric or integer or logic. So it is a good way to understand our data. Other option, example for breast cancer, now we have observed 6, but example, if I am interested, like the first 10 observations. So I can, for example, for this one, I can use patient, or can also use cancer. Then if I say, let's say I'm interested to see only the first 3. So if I say 3, so I only see the first 3. And if I say, for example, I'm interested to see 10, so I can see up to 10 observations. The other also to have like tail. Tail is just to get the bottom. For example, if I say tail breast cancer, so it gives the bottom observations. So from the bottom, for example, you have any unknown observations. But if I say, for example, if I want to understand the first 10, is the last 10 observations, so I can get 10 observations. You can change also, for example, if you are interested to see 20, so you can say 20, and it gives us whatever we order. For example, a table shows there are 20 observations and there are 40, because breast cancer has 40 variables. And similarly, when we say there is a table which is 10 variables currently viewed, if we are 6, that means the default is 6. So this is the options. The other thing is, so, for example, we can see the number of observations here, but sometimes we can also want to see count. So, for example, we can see vaccination data. There is 16 observations, so it gives just the number of or counts. These are some of the initial exploration options. Also, we upload different data. Thank you. Your presentation, as I mentioned, it is available. You can get more details data, and also doing some initial exploration online in my GitHub address and on importing. Thank you.